minutes from the hypermarket to the flyover.
Can you assist, Sierra 1?
Sorry, MP. Shows is assisting. And can we have a reference as well, please, huh?
And what's the ETA for the ambulance?
They reckoned 4 minutes, sir.
Yes, well, let's hope they stick to that. Data, you stay with the injured man till they get here.
I've only done the first aid course, sir. It's not about to get me into the Royal College of Surgeons.
Never mind, it's better than nothing.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Kim? What's going on?
I've just arrived myself, sir. I don't know the full details.
Okay, everybody, let's take it easy and calm down, please, all right? Yeah? All right, sir.
Don't know what he thought he could do against that lot. Crazy.
Let's give the man some air, shall we? You saw what happened, did you?
Yeah, he had a go, didn't he?
Could I have your name, please, sir? Yeah, just a minute.
Can you help us?
Officer, the car cleared right into it. We'll get someone with you in a minute. You the driver of this truck, sir? Yeah. Don't touch anything, please.
I saw them. Did you say quick?
Yeah, all right. You okay, mate?
I'm a bit shaken up. I mean, Dad, these guns. I didn't think they'd use them.
All right, how many men was it, sir?
2. Well, I think.
3. I saw them.
It happened so fast. Should that be right?
Yeah, sorry, MP. No sign of the suspect vehicle.
Manor Road at junction Bexley Road. Accident ambulance.
Stay with him till he's out of surgery. He's probably the best witness we've got.
Right, sir.
Electrical appliances now. Power tools are a value of about 60,000 quid.
That's right, yes. And retail price. Wholesale, they'd be a lot cheaper.
And cheaper still on the black market. Not worth shooting a man's legs for. You see, I wouldn't know how easy it would be to shift that kind of stuff, what it would look like.
In boxes, all palleted up.
Sorry, I can't stay. Can I just take your name and address, please, madam? I've left the kids at home on their own.
Well, I'll have to speak to Mr. Jackley about letting you have them. The manager. I'm only the assistant manager. I can't authorise it. Mr. Jackley's on holiday.
I'll also need a list of personnel.
Well,
Oh, come on, Mr. Deacon. Live a little dangerously, eh?
He's been in charge for 2 weeks, and this happens.
I'll also need the use of an office to talk to the staff that were on today. All right, Ben?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Of course, if you prefer, I can ask them all to come down to the station.
Well, I'll have to speak to Mr. Jackley's secretary.
Good idea. Why don't you do that?
Yes, come in.
I've got Assistant Commissioner Renshaw on the phone, sir. I said you were in a meeting.
No, that's
but,
all right, ma'am. Put him through, will you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Oh, I see. Yes, sir. Well, I'm very concerned as well. With respect, sir, I think it would be a mistake to call in a serious crime squad this early. The incident only happened an hour ago. My CID are onto it. With the best will in the world, sir, we can't expect any kind of result yet. Yes, sir, of course. I'll keep you informed. All right, thank you.
Renshaw?
I get the distinct impression that man is sharpening knives.
Complainant is a Mr. Kerry, 112 Peacock Mansion.
Thank you, MP. Mr. Kerry. Did you see what happened to Olsen?
I didn't see anything. I only leave the car here.
Sierra Oscar, Sierra 1 receiving.
Look at it.
It looks like we
Spoke
found
to your neighbours at all? Seen if they heard anything?
I asked in the house opposite where I made the call. They heard the crash, but didn't bother taking a look.
Doesn't look too clued up, does it? I bet you was well gutted.
Yes, I was. But what am I supposed to do? Am I going to be able to get to work in this?
Well, not in this, you won't, sir. No, not unless you want to break the law. See, you're short of a stoplight now. Mind you, I reckon you should consider yourself lucky that you weren't here when they turned up. You should see the mess they left a couple of miles back down the road.
At least we've located the van. Forensics got an even chance of finding something that matches.
That's if we get ourselves a suspect, Donna.
Well, yeah, of course.
Sorry, I just don't feel terribly confident about this. An armed robbery isn't exactly what I need right now. But you can forget I said that, OK?
Oh, Donna,
Incident
just
room.
the woman. Have you got a moment?
Yes, sir. What now? Yes, OK. Fine, sir. Jim, have you got anything for me? The Chief Super wants to see me again.
Well, not really, Ma'am. Just a couple of names Ted Roach thought were possibles. But the tell the truth, I don't really...
Never mind, at least it'll give me something to tell him. Right, see you later. I'll be on this at least till the DI gets back.
Yes, Mum. What's got her goat?
She's being lent on by the chief super.
Yeah?
He was in at 8 this morning, the moment he heard. Got Derek Conway in the works. But don't ask me what it's all in aid of. I'm only the collator.
He telephoned me a few minutes ago. He said he'd heard about it on the local radio and wanted to know what we were doing about it.
So this kind of crime can't be solved by snapping our fingers.
Yes, I realise that, Kim. It's just that I wanted to warn you that for some reason Renshaw seems to be taking particular interest in us at the moment.
Any ideas why?
Well, our crime figures don't look too clever against other divisions.
I see.
Look, don't misunderstand me, Kim. I'm not criticising.
But other people might be.
Well, at Area, we're considered a forward-thinking station, in touch with force policy. But how good are we at old-fashioned detection?
Derek Jenner. Derek Jenner? Hold up, I'll find his card. Don't think so, Jim. Not unless he staged a breakout from the scrubs and nobody's told us.
OK, while you're there, pull Kevin Carson's card out as well, would you?
This is all a bit Hall of Fame, isn't it?
Oh, Ted Roach thinks he's a possible.
Sounds like wishful thinking to me.
It does sound a bit unrealistic, yeah.
Here you go. Everyone's CID fantasy.
So I've heard.
There's nothing on the manager Jackley. He's as clean as a whistle. Tell the DCI I'll shout if anything comes up in the personnel records.
Sure. Thanks, Donna.
So, we're looking at 3 white males, London accents, one about 5'9". He's the driver. Wearing jeans and trainers, medium to heavy build, short dark hair.
OK, what about the man who did the shooting?
Same dress, same hair colour, bit heavier build. He was about here when our shopper, Mr. Gregory, approached the vehicle and said that he was going to make a citizen's arrest.
What on earth did he think he was doing?
There was a shout of back off, according to one witness, or something fruitier, according to Mr. Saltzman, who was standing a bit further back, round about here. Then the big bloke who'd been having most to do with the van drivers, he got into the van and shouted something to the gunman. Nobody's sure what. Then Mr. Gregory took a few paces forward and Chummy let him have it. He aimed deliberately at his legs, apparently.
Yes, but he opened up, didn't he? From what, 30 yards?
Both barrels, Sarge.
No luck with Jenner, Sarge. He's still inside. We've still got the stuff on Carson, but I've got to say...
No, look, you already have, Jim.
She
Save
said she
it.
thought she heard the man shouting, "Get in, Ken," but she's not too clear.
Okay, so bring her in as soon as possible. I want a statement.
Received, out.
Ken? Kevin?
No, not really, Sarge.
Well, why not?
Ted, you're not listening. What did DC Lyons just say? It was the big bloke doing the shouting, yeah?
Yeah?
Not someone shouting at him. So you've got the wrong man shouting the wrong name.
It was just a thought.
Not a very considered one.
Can I get you a cup of tea, Mrs. Gregory? No, thanks.
Mrs. Khan's arrived. Tosh, do you fancy taking a statement?
Yeah, right, Mom.
OK, I'm going back to the scene. Try and check up forensic on the van, Jim, and see how the house-to-house is doing in the street where they found it. It was the last port of call. Someone must have seen something.
Mom, take a look at this. Assistant cashier, Kirsten Ogilvy. Previous for shoplifting a few years back in Hertfordshire.
Oh, very interesting.
She's been into here and Barton Street a few times recently, complaining of domestic violence. The boyfriend's known to Barton Street, strongly suspected of street robbery, actual and grievous bodily harm, that sort of thing.
Name?
Arthur Johnston. No file on him. It's all over at Barton Street. All I've got's the domestic stuff, which he's dropped anyway.
OK, maybe worth a look. I'll be talking to her anyway.
Mom!
Yes, Alec?
Yeah, I appreciate you're busy, Mum, but Sergeant Maitland's got a suspicious death in Thurslove Gardens. A back window's been broken, a bloke found in an armchair, 2 days dead. Mike Dashwood's at the scene.
Right, tell Dashwood to get the ball rolling. I'll be there as soon as I can.
According to PNC, it's a blue transit believed lost or stolen from Epping in September, so it's been resprayed.
Yep. Not possible to say how recently, though.
Never mind, within the last few months. It all helps. We know the vehicle's had a respray. Maybe by the owner before it was stolen, maybe not. And I'm afraid there's nothing to go on inside. They're still working on it, but...
Well, just pass the details on to Jim Carver, would you? He's in the incident room.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your Jim?
Oh, hello, Gov. Good holiday?
Yeah.
I was going to bring you back a stick of rock. And I tried to describe what it was to this Spanish bird in the souvenir shop, and I think she misunderstood me. This ain't very pleasant, is it?
You're not kidding. You've heard about it, then?
Yeah, of course. I ran the CAD room this morning. I've already been out to have a look. Munro's got the uniforms doing a tribal dance. Any good prospects?
Well, not really, Gov, no. Each one of these statements contradicts the other. The best witness is still under anaesthetic, and there's nothing to speak of on the van. Well, Ted Roach had a couple of possibles, but they got chucked back.
Who were they, then?
Well, Derek Jenner's inside anyway, and the other one was Kevin Carson.
So what do you think?
Well, we're chasing our own tails, frankly, Gov. I mean, you've seen some of what these guys left behind. A shooting, 3 wrecked cars. Ted reckoned he could have been slipping up. But with Carson's apparent form, this ain't a slip-up, this is a nosedive.
So where does that leave us?
The DCI's just gone back to pick up an assistant cashier who's got some form and a boyfriend who's a bit of a hooligan.
What, and she seriously thinks that's a goer, does she?
Well, it might be worth it. I mean, these blokes had some hooligan tendencies. Apart from that, there's nothing but a bad atmosphere in this office. I'm glad you're back, to be honest.
Yeah? Right. Well, first things first. What we need is a bit of room to manoeuvre. We don't need 4 of us on this.
Well, the DCI is pretty keen on getting this sorted out, Gov.
Oh, I'm sure she is. Alec Peters tells me some poor sod met his maker in Thurso Gardens this morning. I'm sure she's keen to sort that and all. Normal police work does not stop, Jim, just because there's a major incident.
No, Gov, just make sure I'm not in the office when you have the row.
Me? Row?
The assistant manager told them when they could be released for interview.
What about the Ogilvy woman?
About half an hour. I can get her out now if you want to go to her quickly.
No, I don't want to spook her. Let's keep it as routine as possible. Frank, Jim's briefed you, has he?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Look, I want all the stops pulled out. The chief super's been breathing down my neck.
Well, would you like me to take care of it, ma'am? I mean, I've already put the word out on the streets. And I reckon Ted Roach and I could handle this, as long as we can still rely on uniform backup. I mean, well, there's no point in having too many chiefs, is there?
If you're happy about that, Frank.
Oh, right, ma'am.
Good. I've got a suspicious death the other side of the ground. It'll probably keep me busy for a couple of hours, but I'll be in and out of the office, so if you'll keep me posted.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, ma'am.
Bloke who was shot, is he right?
Well, he's hanging on. But he don't look too clever. That's why it's very important we find these people. You noticed anything suspicious over the past few weeks? Anybody hanging around asking questions? Something out of the ordinary? Nothing odd? Nothing you can tell us?
Are you all right, Miss Ogilvy?
Yeah.
You do understand we have to ask everybody these questions.
I suppose so. I wasn't even going to come in today.
Why not?
Didn't feel like it.
Kirsten, is there something on your mind? Something I can help you with?
I didn't want to stay at home. Couldn't stand it there either. And then this happens. It's just so...
Is it your boyfriend that's upsetting you?
Lenny. Yeah.
Has he been hurting you?
I get this every other day. I've been from one nick to the other to get help. They say they can't do nothing. I just want him to stop.
For Arthur Leonard Johnston, read Lenny Johnston.
That's more like it.
Oh, it gets better. Viv, have you got that statement from Ford's witness yet?
Oh, Mrs. Khan. Yeah.
It is. Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. The bigger man shouted across to the man who was pointing the gun. He shouted something like, "Get in, Ken." The gunman pointed the shotgun at the man and fired 2 shots. Something like, "Get in, Ken," "Get in, Len."
Go on.
Well, according to Barton Street, he's been into some serious street robbery, but it's never been proven. Released without charge. And up until a month ago, he was employed in a paint shop and a garage.
And the getaway van had been resprayed.
Exactly. Now, we've got a similarity with the name, the paint shop connection, a tie in with the employee, and a history of violence.
That's good enough for me. Where do we find him?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes. Yes, I've had other business to attend to. The investigation's now being handled by Detective Inspector Burnside. Yes, he has a suspect in the frame, but it's early days yet. I have every confidence in him, sir.
Mr. Johnson.
Afternoon.
Right, Lenny. Now you've settled down, I'd like to ask you some questions.
I haven't got nothing to say.
Somebody switch that racket off. How's the garage business?
Hey? What garage business?
Dempsey's Motors, the paint shop, respraying vans.
What about the paint shop?
Ted, quick word. Turn the place over. Here's the warrant, Lenny.
I only worked there.
None of the blokes this morning were black.
I was
They were all
employed as a
white.
mechanic. Oh, they only put me in the paint shop after they ran out of stuff for me to do.
True.
Look, what is this all about? I mean, what am I
Gov.
supposed to have done?
Quick word.
You stay there.
Well, I ain't done nothing. Got a job to do first, haven't I?
Listen,
Leave that alone.
I'm sorry about this. He's the wrong colour.
What are you talking about?
He's the wrong colour. It was 3 IC1s pulled this off.
Well, he could still be involved, couldn't he? Supplied the vehicle?
It's my error. It happens that way.
I want you to give me the dates of when you worked at Dempsey's. And believe me, we'll check them out.
About 3 months ago. Job lasted exactly 3 weeks and 4 days.
Why?
Because I don't know nothing about cars, do I? I lied, right, to get that job through my teeth. Well, I thought I'd just be making tea and answering the phone first so I could pick it up as I went along.
I don't believe you.
Then ask them. Listen, man, on the 3rd week, the foreman comes out the cars. He says to me, "You ain't fixed that egg gasket yet?" So I went into the box with a spanner. I thought he was talking about the plumbing. I just didn't know nothing about it. Ask him.
Rest assured we will.
I thought you said he was out of work, Supt.
How much do they pay you on the dole these days, Lenny?
Why?
Oh, I just wondered. Quite expensive, weren't they? Those kitchen units. There had to be some reason why you did a runner.
Oh, no. Oh, come on.
Jim, I've got Inspector Monroe on the phone. He wants to know if you finished at the scene before he allows the public access to the car park.
I prefer to check it with the governor. Look, can you stall him?
Big deal.
Well, he gave us the name of the bloke who supplied it, so it's a clear-up, isn't it?
Don't push your luck, Ted. You were the one that shoved Johnston onto me in the first place.
Yes, I
Wasted a lot of valuable time.
It was a mistake. We all got the same information. We all take the same responsibility, don't we?
A blowout?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose there had to be some reason why the DCI decided this wasn't for her.
Would you mind explaining that?
Yeah, well, I mean, from what Donna Harris said, she wasn't exactly on top of it. Reckoned it was a non-starter from the off. Apparently.
Yeah, well, he's here now. Yeah, I don't know if he can talk right now. Yes, of course. Sir, Inspector Monroe, he wants to know if he can stand down the PCs at the scene.
No. I want you three to go back over there. Go through it all again. Find out if they missed anything. Just get on with it, will you? She thinks I won't get a result. I'll give her a result. Anyone wants me, I'm seeing my snout.
Sir, Mr. Burnside says no.
Incident room?
Yeah, well, we're actually on our way back.
No, sir. No, he's out on
All right.
inquiries.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Can I get him to call you back? Oh, I see. Well, that's fine, sir. No problem, sir. Thank you. Assistant Commissioner Renshaw for Inspector Burnside.
Any news on the suspicious death?
Turned out to be a heart attack, sir. No, I wanted to let you know that Inspector Burnside's in charge of the inquiry into the incident this morning.
Oh, yes?
I took your comments on board, basically. I have to admit that when it comes to the old-fashioned street-level work, the inspector's probably got the edge on me. And since that's what you said this kind of crime calls for...
Good. Well, I think you made a wise delegation, Kim.
Yes, I have to admit, I think I have to.
You're just in time. Want a vodka?
Same again, Irene. And a little scotch. No, make that a large one.
You're working this afternoon.
Oil in the wheels. Essex police got hold of the bloke who had the van stolen. One used in the getaway. Well, apparently he resprayed it himself and never bothered to contact Swansea, so I'm afraid that's a blowout as well. And, we've had a call from the AC. He understands from DCI Reed that you're in charge of the case from now on. And he wanted you to get in touch to let him know how things are progressing. Oh. Cheers, Irene. There you are, girl. Get one for yourself. Cheers.
Cheers, Ted.
I've never been to Bramshill. I wouldn't let the likes of me in there. But this gives a new meaning to the phrase, winning by appearing to lose.
Leave it out.
I'm on your side, believe me.
Oh, yeah. You could see this coming, couldn't you? She set me up.
I don't understand politics. Never have.
I should have seen it. I mean, why does she want to let a case like this go? Why drop all those brownie points? You should have warned me.
It wasn't ever going to be that easy.
That's exactly why she's dropped me in it.
Maybe, yeah.
My year for a promotion.
I've been saying that for the last decade.
Look, will you listen to me, T?
Gov.
Look, you know as well as I do. One black mark in the unofficial book, that's all it takes. Finish. She knows that.
Are you saying you didn't know what you were dealing with when she turned up here?
What do you mean?
She's got a #1 on her back. Everybody knows that. She doesn't need to break anybody. She won't be around here that long. She won't stop until she's the first woman commissioner. Do you mind if I say something? I'm going to say it anyway. You're going to have to get hold of this.
What do you think I've been trying to do?
We're in this together. If we don't get a result, if it means that much to the powers that be, you and I can both kiss goodbye to future promotion. Murders might get solved within the first 48 hours or not at all. But with robberies, it's different. It's always the waiting game. You know that. The waiting game till the stuff hits the streets and you can start trying to trace it back.
We shouldn't have taken this shout, George.
Thought your complaints interview was until 10:30.
Yeah, that's 10:30 looking smart, not covered in soot.
I also thought you said that any copper who didn't have a few complaints against him wasn't doing his job properly.
Yeah, well, it would help if you told me what you said at the complaints unit. Sierra Oscar from 340 receiving, over.
You shouldn't need any help, Dave. Not if you stick to the truth.
June. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Any chance of somebody else help me, George, with this one, Skip?
Yeah, Sierra Oscar 85 already on their way.
And the latest is there are no injuries, but that the 3 female occupants are distressed, I understand.
Now you tell us.
I want to be out of here in 10, George. Distressed women or not.
About time. Do you know what I've had to put up with? Do ya? I hope you're going to do something about them.
It's all yours, Dave.
You got a date, Reg?
Oh, no, I'm waiting for Dave Quinnan, aren't I?
Don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
No, he's due up at area about a complaint. I'm going to be his friend.
Hey?
His friend, you know, his advisor in legal matters. Sit by his side like a brief and shake my head when they ask him a few questions.
Oh, yeah, that's a Phil Garrett complaint, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. He reckons Dave gave him a dig when he arrested him.
Drunken little toad who got off suspended, having called out half the relief on a hoax call.
Yeah, and an insurance fraud.
Eh?
Yeah, got suspended for that, no?
It makes you wonder why we bother.
Of course, the trouble is that Gareth fell over at the time, didn't he? Give himself 6 stitches. Dave was going to have to prove that he didn't use excess force.
Well, did he?
Well, not if it's going to give him 1,000 nick a fine, no.
I've been trying to flog my house for 9 months without a sniff. Yeah, and it's all because of them. I mean, who wants to live next door to the likes of them? Right, mate, sure. Yeah, and they even tried to burn the place down now. It's unbelievable.
Question is, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Absolutely. I'm going to speak to my colleagues.
Excuse me.
They shouldn't let them out, women like that.
George Cavalry's here, balancing piece.
Good luck, Dave. Wait, we had the big one rooting through the bins after yesterday, and another one singing after night.
All right, mate. No, it's not all right. How do you like Steve?
Excuse me, please. Some woman tried to cook their breakfast on the mattress. 3 ex-psychiatric patients released at the care of the community.
Oh, terrific.
They should be put away.
Sure they should, you're quite right.
Except the community doesn't care a whole bunch.
Yeah, exactly. And the women inside the house are refusing to leave.
Don't blame them.
You scared of them or something?
Yeah, you can see what they've done to the place, can't you?
So get them out.
Absolutely.
Why should we pay taxes?
Right,
That's right, they're sick, aren't they?
They're too right they are. Yeah, and who's the mug who's got to live next door to them, eh? Right.
I'll take care of the Sisters of Mercy. You go and start talking to the women.
Right, officer, what's going to be...
Right, ladies and gentlemen, shall we all just calm down?
Message from the Met solicitors at Wellington House, Dave.
They want to see you after the complaint's interview.
You're joking!
It's about the Gareth civil claim for damages, I think, Dave.
Damages? Tell him I'll get there as soon as I can, Jude.
Where are you?
Good question. Tell Reg he's got 15 seconds to finish whatever he's doing.
Hello, police officers.
Good place for a fryer.
Yeah, just a job, eh?
They've lodged themselves in the back. See if you can budge them, will you? I've got to ventilate the room.
Right. After you, George.
Oh, thanks. You all right, love? Have you got somewhere to go? Because you can't stay here, you know?
I want to go back to my room.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's a very good idea.
I want to stay in my room.
Sarah, is there someone we can call to get you looked after?
Come and sit down, lovey.
I want to stay in my room.
Sierra Oscar 577.
Go ahead, Barry.
Can you get the social services for me?
No! Sarah!
Now do you believe me?
All right, Mr. North.
They're sent out into the care of the community, ain't they? Yeah. But whose community, eh?
Oh,
right.
That's far enough.
How do you think we feel with that lot next door?
Well, at home, I shouldn't wonder.
Oh, that's nice.
Look, no one's going to take you anywhere. We just need to find out how the fire started, and then we can take you somewhere safe.
Is there a warden who looks after you?
She doesn't like the side effects,
How about a particular community psychiatric nurse?
so she's been avoiding her.
Still trying social services for you, Barry.
The house does belong to the local authority, but I can't raise a key social worker for the residents.
Right, yeah, thanks, June.
Is there a particular community psychiatric...
No, Constable, there isn't a particular CPN, and I'm an ex-alcoholic, not brain dead.
Shall I have a chat, George? Why don't you go downstairs, make your list of the damage, get the place secure, yeah?
Sure.
And I'll try getting onto the council yourself, Barry. Is it all right if we use your phone, love?
Certainly, it's downstairs.
Right. Now then, my name's Tony. You're not in trouble, and I'm not arresting you. In fact, I'm not even cross. So why don't we get out of here and go and talk about what happened? All right? Come on, love.
Not content with this complaint, our pal Garrett decides he deserves a few quid for being so legless he falls over and cuts his head.
Yeah, well, that's a civil court's for, innit, mate?
They're a joke. It's bad enough fanning around all morning at the complaints unit without having to waste this afternoon talking to a brief.
Yeah, well, don't worry about this morning, Dave. I've spoken to the Federation solicitor. I've got the perfect defence for you, mate. State of the art.
We're here to give us a normal life. Sarah suffers from schizophrenia, but she's already spent 4 years as a voluntary patient. She doesn't want to be institutionalised at her age.
So we look after her. I've only got depression. I'm OK so long as I take my medication.
And I just need the company.
What happened this morning, then?
Well, Sarah's been on a lower dose of her drugs recently because she doesn't like the side effects.
I hate them. You can't talk properly, you can't see properly.
Well, it zombifies you if you're on too much. I mean, it's not nice for a young girl.
And then I'm afraid she decided to try and do without all her drugs. She threw them away.
We tried to find them as soon as she told us. I spent the morning going through the dustbins.
And then I had a bad night. A terrible night.
Is that when you started the fire, Sarah?
No, that was this morning. I just...
Go on, love.
I wanted to make it up to Mary and Brenda, and it all went wrong. I wanted to make some breakfast for a surprise. So I took the electric frying pan up into my bedroom, and then I went back downstairs for the food. And I just forgot what I was doing. And then I saw the fire, so I tried to put it out with the duvet. But...
So you've got no medication now?
Their key social worker's off sick, Tony. Social services said they'd send someone, didn't say when.
Yeah, so no we're here, don't they?
Yeah, and renting mob are still outside. This will be fun.
Ray North and his son. I don't know what we've ever done to them.
Oh, he's a closet paranoiac, if you ask me, Mary.
So, what are we going to do then, eh?
Sarah's frightened that you're going to take her back to the hospital.
That's not up to me, I'm afraid.
All she wants to do is stay here with us.
You never had your breakfast, did you, ladies? What about a fry up back in the nick while we get this sorted, eh?
PC Quinn and Sun Hill.
PC Quinnan, Sergeant Masters.
Yes, sorry I'm late.
Reg Hollis, the Federation representative.
Hollis, Chief Inspector Hutchinson is expecting you, if you'd like to follow me, please. Get called out in the shout, did you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Shouldn't keep you too long, Mr. Quinlan. Take a mic each and put them on your lapel.
How? Clip-ons, eh? Yeah. Don't get none of this down at Sun Hill. I can get a fresh tape half the time. Isn't that right, David?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
The van's here, so we should be within about 15, Sarge. I think we might need a divisional surgeon too, if someone shows up from social services.
Is that for a sectioning order, Tony?
Affirmative, Sarge.
This complaint arises from the arrest of Philip Allen Garrett on the charge of making a hoax call to the emergency services. Now, just to get the record straight, you were the arresting officer on the 15th of August, weren't you, Mr. Quinlan?
Oh, was so, yes.
Right. Perhaps you'd like to start by giving us your account of the events leading up to the arrest of Mr. Garrett. Well?
I'm not saying anything.
There you go, sir. That is our solicitor's advice, I'm afraid.
Interview suspended.
Can I have a word with you outside, son? Off the record.
Well, David, I don't think you should. Any danger of a cup of coffee, sir?
Listen, Garrett isn't cooperating.
What?
He won't talk to us, so the complaint can't be substantiated.
Well, what am I doing here, then?
Helping us, partially. Look, the evidence that we collect gets passed on to the Met solicitors to defend the damages case against you.
Oh, why didn't you say so? I felt like I was going through the 3rd degree now.
Partially, I said. The other part is trying to find out whether you overstepped the mark, or whether there's going to be a disciplinary action against you.
Garrett's a villain, you know. He couldn't have been more out of order if he'd have smacked me in a mush.
So tell us about it, then. Tell us your side of it.
I want to speak to Reg first.
The divisional surgeon has been informed, Tony.
Thanks, Sarge.
Why have you called a doctor?
Come on, ladies.
Hope you're arresting her.
No, Mr. North.
Why not?
What about Arson?
Out of the way. Well, what about me? My house. Why should anyone have to live next to this?
It's not deliberate, mate.
I hope you're pleased with yourself, you stupid blasted woman.
Out of the way.
You shouldn't be out. You nut, there's a lot of you.
Don't be stupid, Ray.
You should all be locked up where you belong.
Why can't you leave us alone?
Why can't you go and live somewhere else?
Grow up, Ray.
A quiet word, pal.
Get off it. You, stay there.
In the first place, you're obstructing a police officer in the course of his duty. In the second, why don't you find someone your own size to pick on, if that's biologically possible? And the third, I should have a good look at yourself in the mirror before you go around accusing other people of behaving like nutters, okay?
I'll make a complaint.
You do that.
So what do I say? If I tell him Garrett didn't offer any violence, I might get done for using too much force.
Yeah, well, he did get 6 stitching.
Well, if I say he did offer violence, Garfield's statement might call me a liar for all I know.
Yeah, precisely. Very inconsiderate of me.
So what do I say?
Well, you'll just have to make a guess and hope that it's right.
Right, are we safe enough now, ladies? I'll get you tucked up in the weight room.
Oh, is that where we're going to have our breakfast?
It's just until someone comes along from social services.
Mary. But we are free to go, aren't we?
Yeah. Look, Barry, I'll catch up in a minute, mate.
Right you are, yeah. Come on, Sarah. This is where we're going to have our breakfast, in here. Oh, looks like we missed it.
Obviously, you and Brenda can leave, Mrs. Cox. But Sarah's going to have to wait here, I'm afraid.
Why?
Social services, like I say.
And if they don't come? You're going to get the doctor to section her, aren't you? You want her back in hospital.
Well, I figured out which one was Garrett.
How?
Because he was the only one just sitting there and smiling. Well, he was smiling and saying nothing. So I told him I was arresting him, but he wouldn't stand up. He just sat there, half cut, and so he started giving me lip.
What did he do when you told him you were arresting him?
He said, "Stick it where your brains are, big boy." So, PC Loxton, Steve Loxton and myself, we took hold of an arm each and we tried to pull him out of the chair. But he just slipped. He slipped, he swung round and he banged his head on a sideboard or something.
Did he offer violence?
Well, how do you mean?
It was quite a simple question, Mr. Quinlan.
Well, he made himself limp. He made himself heavy to try to resist arrest.
Did Garrett offer you violence, necessitating the use of force in return? Or did he do no such thing?
He did not offer violence, sir.
No joy.
Oh, they'll send an approved social worker as soon as possible. But they know we've got care. As far as social services are concerned, the women are safe.
What about the divisional surgeon, Sarge?
Well, he could section her, get her back in hospital for a spell. But the social services might have some other options.
Like what?
A hostel? Sheltered housing for a couple of nights? The ASW could even let Sarah go home with her mates if she thought she was up to it.
Yeah, but we can't, can we?
Well, we could, Tony. But it'd be on our heads.
My head, Sarge.
Mrs. Cox wants a word, Tony. They want to go home.
Look, they know Garrett's trying it on. They just want to make sure you weren't up to any nasties.
I wasn't.
I know, and that is how it come across. You was telling the truth, right? Never a bad idea.
Yeah, well, if it gets me up before a disciplinary committee while that sleazebag gets off scot-free, then I'd call telling the truth a pretty bad idea, wouldn't you? Thank you very much, George Garfield.
You have no right to stop us.
I'm afraid I do.
The whole point of us being in the community is that we're treated the same as anyone else. The same. Would you arrest anyone else for having a house fire?
I haven't arrested Sarah.
Then where can't she go?
Keep in the lounge till my room's repaired.
That's not the point. I have to make sure you're taken under somebody's care.
She will be under our care.
I'm afraid that's not good enough, Mrs. Cox.
He's here, Tone. You'd like to come with me, Sarah?
It's all right, love. We're not going. The doctor, right?
Look, my only concern is for Sarah's safety.
I trusted you.
She doesn't have her medication. She's just had a serious accident. Now, I can't take the chance that she'll walk out of here and do herself an injury. That fire could have killed a lot of you this morning.
So could any fire. Mary. We have our rights like anyone else. And your only concern seems to be to get us swept out of sight and preferably out of our home.
Now, hang on a minute.
The fair thing to do is to get over to social services and drag a social worker over here by his hair. Make them do their job. They're the ones being negligent and you're abetting them. But that's it, isn't it? I mean, it's just not worth putting yourself out for loonies, is it?
Right, now, that's enough. I've already put myself out for you. Now, I'm acting only in Sarah's best interests. This is not the social services, and I'm not a counsellor. And you are no more or less special than any other member of the public. And that is how I have been treating you. So come off it, right?
Yes.
Good.
probably just talked myself into a disciplinary offence thanks to you. I have to say, Garrod was in my hands when he fell over and gave himself 6 stitches.
So why is it my fault?
Well, what do you think? How do I know what to say at the interview if I don't know what's in your statement?
You could try telling the truth, Dave.
I did tell the truth, Pratt. And that's why I'm probably going to have a disciplinary committee.
Not if it's anything to do with my statement.
Eh?
I told the truth too. He was legless and he slipped through your hands. You're not going to get disciplined for that. Look, I didn't show you the statement because you'd have wanted me to spice it up a bit, yeah? Killed the lily. I did you a favour, Dave. Made you tell the truth.
Excuse me, I've got a solicitor to see.
Mrs. Farmer, approved social worker. Come to take a look at Sarah McKenny.
Right, just a moment.
Right. I can take this one, Michelle. You're going to make someone very happy. Hang on there, Mick, can you?
So your last dose was over 48 hours ago. And it...
Sorry to bother you, Doc. I thought you might like to know the approved social workers arrived to see Sarah.
Right, thanks, Tony. Was there something else?
Yeah. I think Sarah would prefer to see this through with the social services. She doesn't want to get sectioned again if she can possibly help it.
I see. You're not telling me to go away, are you, Tony?
No, Doc, no, of course not.
Sorry to keep you, Mr. Quinlan.
No rush.
It'll just be me gathering the facts for now, which I'll pass on to our counsel. Cost of barristers being what it is.
Fair enough.
It does mean that I won't be able to tell you what counsel will recommend in this case. At least not for certain.
Right. What do you mean by recommend?
Or whether to fight the case, of course.
Eh? What, you mean we might not fight it?
Well, no. It would cost at least $20,000 to defend the case in court. More like 2 or 3 times that. And there's absolutely no guarantee of winning.
Hold on, look, he's a villain. He's just trying it on.
He may well be, but we're talking about the civil court. There's none of your beyond reasonable doubt in civil courts. Juries are instructed to decide on the balance of probabilities. So the jury will know that Garrod got 6 stitches.
But he fell over, he got those stitches himself.
Nevertheless, the jury will be told that you were holding him just before. All they have to be is 51% certain about which one of you is telling the truth. Would you bet £40,000 that a jury would believe you? People think policemen lie these days, you know.
Day visits to the Medical Health Resource Centre while we reassess her medication should be quite sufficient, I think.
Yes. Given her history, I think you're probably right.
So I can go home?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Looks as if you're in good hands.
Of course she is, aren't you? We'll get the builders in as soon as we can. Thanks.
And look, the neighbours were getting pretty lippy. Might be an idea to keep an eye on things for a day or 2.
I'll get the out-of-hours special worker to pop round tonight.
Great. I'll see you home if you like. Make sure you're in safely.
A bloke walks free for 2 crimes and I've got to watch him get paid for it.
Yeah, but it's not my decision.
I've wasted a whole day. I've wasted a whole day and I've picked up a complaint on my file. Just so's a villain can earn himself a couple of grand for falling over.
Look, it's a matter of economics.
Oh, no it isn't. No, it's not. It's much simpler than that. It's a matter of this. It's a matter of I'm a copper, he's a villain. I nick him, he gets off suspended. I get a complaint on my file, he gets given a couple of grand. If that's justice, you can shove it.
Don't worry. Yeah, I did murder.
Oh, wait there, ladies, please.
Come on, Mr. North, it's the police. Open up. Come on. Come on.
Look, it's okay.
Is there somewhere else you could take them, Mrs. Farmer?
No, we'll stay here. We'll stay here and we'll get it tidied up. We are not being driven out of this house.
Right. Well, I'll give you a hand till I get a shout. Sierra Oscar 595 receiving.
Go ahead, Tony.
George, It's Dave back here. All right. I was wondering how he got on at the solicitors, you know.
Well, I don't know. Terrible, probably. I don't think he was in the mood.
Yeah, it was a woman solicitor too, apparently.
Make that terrible, definitely.
Tony, there's a woman at the front desk for you.
There's hope for us all, eh, George?
Yeah, some of us anyway.
Mrs. Wilson?
Yes, you're the one.
What can I do for you?
Well, you looked after the women in that house fire this morning, didn't you?
Yes,
The ex-patients.
that's right.
Well, I live opposite, and I like those women, and I didn't like what Ray North and that son of his did to their house this afternoon.
You saw them do it?
Yes, I did.
And will you make a statement?
I will.
You deserve that. You had that coming to you.
Yeah, OK, so if we could just give him some room to work,
Look,
please,
I don't see why we should.
Just take it
Oh,
easy.
that, didn't
Just
you?
calm down. Wait.
They'll be moving him as soon as he's stable, Sarge. He's lost a lot of blood from the wound. It's not looking very clever at the moment.
Have you contacted the informants yet, Tony?
No, not yet, Sarge. I'll get back to you.
What's the score, Tone?
1-0 to the residents, I reckon. Apparently, he was trying to mug the informant. And then he got stabbed with his own knife during the struggle. The informant's a Michael McGee. Lives up number 6 over there.
Right, have you spoken to him yet?
Not yet. Been too busy with rent-a-mob.
Yeah, right. Well, you stay down here, see if you can find any more witnesses. We'll go and have a look. June?
Right, you lot, let's try it again, shall we? Now, who saw what? Come on, how would you feel if it was one of you lot?
It usually is. That's the trouble. OK, if you could just stop singing.
Sounds like this Mr. McGee's going to be a bit of a local hero.
Yeah, here it is.
Hello? Police?
Hello. I thought you should stay up here. You don't have to be called up the ambulance.
Yeah, you did the right thing. Is it Mrs. McGee?
Yes. Well, you just don't know what might happen down there, do you?
Is your husband injured?
Just his hand. It's okay, I think.
Mr. McGee?
But what about the young lad?
He's on his way to hospital now.
Mr. McGee, my name's June Ackland. I'm a police officer. Can you hear me, Mr. McGee?
Michael? I think he's shocked.
It was your husband fought with the boy.
Yes, I did.
Look, Mr. McGee, we need to talk to you back at the police station. Now, do you want to get your hand looked at first?
I expect you'll be wanting this. It's the boy's knife.
Thanks.
Warm, friendly bunch of people.
You should try living here.
Morning, Josh.
Hiya.
Seen the paper then?
No, I haven't had a chance yet.
Oh, Jasmine Allen's done it again. Mugger stabbed by his own knife.
Really?
Oh, it's going to be the good old police powerless residents fight back number. Going to go down like a cup of cold sick with your DCI.
Oh, dear.
Morning.
Morning, mate. Now, that's what I call street crime initiative. Hey, now, hang on a minute. Who was this mugger?
I don't know. But the report will be on Reed's desk.
Oh, yeah? Excuse me, Mom. Barry Davies?
He's in a pretty bad way, apparently. They gave him an emergency op as soon as they got him there.
Thanks, Bob. Morning, Tosh.
Good morning, Mum.
Been reading your paper?
Yes, have actually, yeah.
Sounds like the sort of incident the Jasmine Allen could do without. Something wrong?
No, Mum, I just happen to know the boy that's been stabbed, that's all. Barry Davies.
I see. Come in.
Thank you. I'm just a bit surprised, that's all. I'm flabbergasted, in fact. I can't imagine him carrying a knife, never mind pulling it on someone.
Go on.
Oh, he's been at it all right. Mixed with the wrong crowd when his dad left 3 years ago. But I really thought he'd sorted himself out. I really thought he'd grown out of it.
Perhaps he grew into it.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. But it's still a weird one. There's hardly any witness statements in Ted's report, are there?
No, nothing useful.
Worth a dig?
Well, anything's worth a dig, Tosh. It's just a question of priorities.
The boy's been stabbed, Mum. I would call that a priority.
Yes. Why don't you get over to St. Hugh's and see if Davies can give us his side of it yet?
Right, Mum.
Will you sit in on the interviews today, Bob? I got the first batch of civilians for that CAD room job at noon.
Sure.
And listen, I'll square it with Monroe when he comes in. But I'd like to see some more officers on the Jasmine Allen this afternoon. Have a look at your rotors, will you?
Yes. Look at them till I'm blue in the face.
I didn't realise he was in intensive care. Probably a wasted journey. I tell you what, you go and see how he is and get the surgeon's statement. I'll see who's got in the visitors' room. Might get more out of them.
Hello, love. DC Carver.
Excuse me. Is there someone with Barry Davies? I'm a police officer.
Mr. Lyons, I'm Barry's mother. We've met before.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Well, Mr. Schofield has patched it up, but the bundle of hit is a pretty tricky part of the heart, and the next 24 hours are going to be critical.
What about the wound?
Yes. Well, it was a very clean injury, straight in and straight out.
Was it? It was supposed to have been done in a struggle.
There's the rub, isn't it? Oh, I wouldn't like to say.
It's like it's happening to someone else. I'm just sitting here watching. He's got a job, you know. He does the shelves in the supermarket. So why does he need to rob someone? I don't understand.
Well, to be honest, Mrs. Davies, I was surprised myself.
And a knife? Barry? He's never hurt anyone in his life. You know that, Mr. Lyons.
As far as I know.
He's not that kind of boy. He was always such a...
Well, like I said, I was surprised. Look, can I ask you, Mrs. Davies, did he know the man that he tried to mug?
I don't know. Who was it?
A Mr. Michael McGee.
What? McGee? McGee's crazy. He's always going on about cleaning up the estate, fighting back at the muggers.
Now, hold on a minute.
He tried to get patrols going. Wants to win back the streets.
Has he threatened Barry?
He's threatened them all. He hates the kids on the estate. And now he's stabbed my son. Barry didn't have a knife, Mr. Lyons. He wouldn't have.
Are you saying McGee might have attacked Barry when he tried to mug him?
Yes, I am.
It's possible that it wasn't a straightforward mugging gone wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Davies has never used a knife before. In fact, we're not even sure he had one. And McGee, his intended victim, turns out to have had a bee in his bonnet about cleaning up the estate.
By getting himself mugged.
We're just looking into it, Derek. McGee's an ex-paratrooper who seems to have spent his life talking about hitting back at the muggers. Lyons and Carver will be asking a few questions to make sure it's just a coincidence.
Where are they going to be asking these questions?
On the estate. It's witnesses we need.
Well, I hope you've told them to watch what they say. I don't want a riot on my hands because CID start accusing the one person who's fought back against the muggers on this estate.
Fine. And I don't want a stabbing swept under the carpet because it's inconvenient to you, Derek.
I was amazed, I'm telling you.
By Mike McGee?
That's right. But it's one to our lot, all right, eh?
Yeah?
It's about time someone fought back at the little scum. They think they own the estate.
Yeah, I suppose so. Listen, can I,
Fancy a heart starter?
Well... No, thanks, Mr. Rawlings. So, McGee obviously can handle himself a bit, eh?
Mikey? That's the laugh. One of these is what he handles best. He's all mouth.
So what's he going about when he's down here, then?
Sorting out the little beggars that roam the streets, mostly. Cleaning up the estate. Why'd you ask?
Just routine inquiries.
You don't think...
All right if I contact you again, Mr. Rollins?
Yeah, but...
Come on, Jim. Oh, Mr. Rollins. Thanks again for your help.
Very subtle, Tosh.
It's not my fault. Just because we're there at all starts them thinking.
Yeah, let's hope the DCI sees it that way.
Well, she'll have to. Our kid's been stabbed half to death. And just because he's a mugger doesn't make it right. I'm not going to go pussyfooting round just in case I upset the residents of the Jasmine Allen.
Yeah, but you've been told to watch it, Tosh. The public interest?
Someone's kid, Jim. You think about it.
What time's the boss back from area, man?
Late afternoon, if at all.
Sir?
You a bit early for the interviews, aren't you, Bob?
No, it's about the duties this afternoon.
Yeah?
Well, I've got so many people off sick or away on courses, I'm not going to give you any extra for the Jasmine Allen.
Oh, God, are you sure?
I'm positive. We were below the minimum staffing levels both on the CAD and on the beats. I'm sorry.
Terrific. Perhaps we could start some of the civilians right away, eh? Of course, there's always the TSG. They're good for starting a riot.
Sorry, nothing. I stayed inside when I heard all the racket. I always do.
OK, thanks.
Still, he got what he deserved, didn't he, eh? About time the little toe rags got a taste of their own medicine, innit, eh?
Thanks for your help.
Thanks a lot, love.
You're welcome.
Ta. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Any joy?
That's not the word I'd use.
I've got something. The old girl back there. She reckons she saw them arguing in the car park. Just before it happened.
Arguing?
Yeah. Just down there. In the middle. By the lamppost. Now, you don't argue with muggers, do you?
I don't know. You would if you didn't want to hand over your cash.
If you had a knife?
I suppose. Look, it depends on the bloke, doesn't it? I mean, we've already established how McGee felt about muggers. He's hardly likely to say, here it is and God bless, is he?
Now, McGee said he was on his way back from the pub. And that's in his statement. Now, something doesn't smell right, and you know it. And if McGee did attack Davis, that's GBH at the very least.
Yeah, but you're going to need a lot more than we've got if you want to convince Reed.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not done yet.
Hang on, it's McGee's house, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Tosh?
My job.
Well, we were told by Reed not to...
Yes?
Yes, well, your work with the minicab firm is, well, relevant to computer-aided dispatch, wouldn't you say, Bob?
Yeah.
Right, so is there anything you'd like to ask us now?
Yeah, the salary was a misprint, wasn't it? That's not what you're offering.
Excuse me.
Well, there is, of course, the London waiting, and...
It's Barry Davis, the mugger that got stabbed. He died 10 minutes ago.
So your husband's back at work then, Mrs. McGee?
Oh, for sure. It would take more than a scratch like that to keep our Michael at home. Will you have some sugar?
2, please, love. Excuse me.
Yes, I'll have 2, please.
Sarah Oscar from DC Carver.
What exactly does your husband do?
He's a driver. He'll be over 2. Why do you ask?
Oh, I just wondered. Thank you. Has he been left the army long?
Tosh.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me, Mr. McGee. Yeah. What's the matter?
Davis has just pegged it, Tosh.
Could I use your toilet, please, Mr. McGee?
Of course. I'll show you where it is.
No, it's all right. I'll find it myself. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's truth.
Those are the facts, sir, yes, sir.
Yes. I hardly know where to begin, Lines. With you or with your facts?
Beg your pardon, sir?
McGee's an ex-paratrooper, right?
Yes, sir.
He's got a room full of his army stuff. Is that a criminal offence?
No, but...
He was a squaddy for 23 years. What do you expect, a Dolls of the World collection?
Sir.
So we got a witness who saw the beginning of the incident. We got Davies with 8 counts of street and related crime. And we got McGee with a clean record who phones the police and the ambulance and sits waiting like a lamb. Anything strike you at this point? Because I tell you what strikes me, Lines. A copper with a stupid idea lodged in his head. You knew Davis, didn't you, Tosh?
Yes, sir.
Went to the hospital, intensive care. Saw him there with his doubtless very pleasant mother and younger brother. Rather upsetting, I dare say.
No, sir.
Poor Davis, without a dad, lying on his deathbed.
No, sir. Now, hang on a minute.
DC Lyons is a very experienced officer, sir.
I have been totally objective.
Have you? Then why am I listening to a load of rubbish being passed off as evidence? Eh?
Can I have a word with you now, Tosh?
Why not? Everybody else has.
Well, it's just that I was present at the stabbing last night. I dealt with McGee.
Yep.
Well, he was quiet. He was shaking. There wasn't a hint of pleasure in what had just happened.
I gather that.
So where does CID get the idea from that he's some kind of cock-of-the-hoop vigilante who's trying to clean up the streets of Sun Hill?
From stupid old me.
From you?
Yep.
Where did you get the idea from?
Half a dozen places, trying to detect a crime. Now, listen, if McGee had a knife on him for whatever reason he stabbed Barry, then it's a crime. And it's a pretty juicy one. It's called murder. Now, look here, job description #1, detection of crime. That's my job. And that's why I look into a stabbing, whether it's a mugger or the Queen of Flipping Sheba who's been stabbed. Right?
Right.
Now, Michael McGee, he's been giving up a lot of chat about cleaning out the estate. He's in back at the muggers, right?
Yeah.
So why is he so quiet? Why is he so shell-shocked when he's just achieved one of his life's ambitions and got one? Why isn't he cock of the hoop?
Because he's just stabbed somebody. He never said he wanted to stab the muggers, did he?
Well, he said everything but.
So he would be quiet and shocked if he'd done just that, wouldn't he?
Possibly.
And given the sort of bloke he is and all his chat, wouldn't that make him more likely, not less likely, to fight back if he was mugged?
Precisely. And he might just be the sort of bloke who pulls his own knife and then stabs Barry.
Take a seat, Mr. McGee.
Have I done something wrong?
Not that I'm aware of.
Now that Barry Davis has died, we have to talk to you again. It's routine. Interview between Michael McGee and Detective Superintendent Brooks. DCI Reed also present.
What's going on?
You're not obliged to say anything, but anything you do say may be taken down and given in evidence.
I've done nothing wrong.
No one said you had.
Well, then why are you treating me like a criminal?
We're not, Mr. McGee. We're simply making sure we've got the truth.
Because until we're sure, we have to keep an open mind, don't we? For everyone's sake.
Jim? Yeah? You fancy a pint?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah?
I held his wrist. The hand that I got the knife in.
How did you hold it?
Give me a hand.
Like that?
That's right. Then you put your back into him. Take your left hand. Take the knife out of his grasp. It's basic training.
So what went wrong?
Well, he was stronger than me, wasn't he? I'm 52 now. Well, we struggled for a while. Then he tripped and fell on top of me. On top of the knife. And I phoned for the ambulance.
Army training let you down, did it?
What? Saved my life, more like.
Let's go through it again, shall we, Mr. McGee?
Here? But this is McGee's pub. What do you want to come back here for?
Just thirsty, Jim.
But it hasn't got anything to do with us anymore, Tosh. You said so yourself.
Come on, I'm buying.
Tosh!
I don't like being made to look a prat, especially in front of Reed, right? Now, this is where McGee said he was drinking last night. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to have a pint and wait until it's dark. And then I'm going to retrace his steps back to his flat. OK?
Can I go now?
You haven't finished your tea. I'd just like to ask another question.
What? I've been here an age already.
Sit down, please, Mr. McGee.
It's this witness statement I've got, you see. I'm wondering why you were arguing with Davis under a lamppost. Funny place for a mugging.
There we are. That wasn't very productive, was it?
No? Hang on a minute, Jim. Come over here. Follow me. Right, now his flat's up there, yeah? The stairs to his flat are there, right?
Right.
Now, the incident took place over there, just under the lamp.
Yeah, but Davis was found on the ground by the wall, wasn't he?
Never mind where he ended up. That's where the old lady saw them arguing. Now, who in their right mind would say that that was on the way back from the pub? Why did he make a detour over there?
Well, perhaps his car was parked there. Maybe he went to check up on it, get something out of it, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Just hang on a minute, Jim. Open up, please, sir.
Look, I just want to go home.
Yeah, me too.
Is it that things were just a little bit different, Mr. McGee? The truth's the same, but maybe just a few facts awry.
Yes. That's what it is.
So what precisely happened when you got back from the pub?
All right, look. I was here last night, all right? But I weren't with...
Jim, can you,
What's your name?
Yes? McGee comes over to this geezer by his car, right? Gives it an oil, tells the kid to move away. The kid pulls a knife on him.
Are you sure?
About what?
Well, who's got the knife?
Do you think I'm stupid or something? Well, it's just like it said in the papers. He was going to mug old Mikey or have him or something. I don't know.
I thought I'd be in trouble.
Why?
Because I went over to him. I started it, didn't I?
But you only told Davis to get away from your car, and he pulled a knife on you.
That's right.
So what happened next?
Yeah, well, they had this bit of a scrap, you know, sort of struggling with each other. And then Mikey knocked the knife out of his hand, didn't he?
He did what?
Well, McGee got the knife off him. Landed on the ground.
Jim?
So you're okay, aren't you? Now that what you've told us tallies with our witnesses' statements, the picture's clear.
Can I go then?
Yes, you can. Interview terminated.
So, if Davis was killed in the course of a struggle, as you describe, then it's a legitimate case of self-defense. You were fighting for your life, weren't you?
Yes. Yes, I was.
I need a word, sir, right away.
Concerning?
This case, sir.
We'll wait here.
Well?
We found a witness, sir. A kid necking in the car park. Saw the whole thing.
And?
I've been wrong all along, in one way. Davis did have a knife, and he pulled it on McGee.
Just like our man says.
Yeah. I was barking up the wrong tree. But McGee knocked the knife out of Davis's hand, and then he picked it up, and he stabbed him with it when he came at him again.
Did he now?
Yeah, probably the kid didn't know that he'd picked it up, and he went at him, and he got himself stabbed to death for it.
We're going to have to put this up to the CPS for murder. Manslaughter at the least, isn't it?
Yes, sir. In the eyes of the law.
Indeed. Well, I'd have another word with Mr. McGee. Well done, Tosh.
Sir.
Carver.
Sir. Well, I reckon that's a pint he owes you.
Oh, I don't know. He's now going to nick McGee for defending himself.
I'll pay for it. £100 on the 14. You owe me £100.
Oh, look at you.
It's all right. I'll sort it out. I'll buy you a drink. What was all that about then? What else?
Go and fight somewhere else and get out of my room and don't come here again. Come on, Josh, let's get some ice on it.
We're out of ice.
Now you've been introduced to them, what do you think? Oh, something's going on. And I don't want them using my pub.
Cannibal straight. I only called in for a pint. You asked me to have a look at them. I have. Unless you've got any specific complaint to make, I mean...
Is that it?
Well, yes.
Aren't you going to press charges against them?
Against who?
Those two. Him and that girl, that's why I asked you to look them over. They're up to something. I don't want them using my pub as an office. I don't want them stealing me drink.
Oh, they're stealing it?
They're not paying for it. Not when Les is behind the bar. He doesn't charge them.
So they're not stealing it? I mean, all I saw was two lads about to have a go over a girl.
Her name is Annie as well. Same name, different style entirely. Something else is going on. That wasn't just an argument over some little slag.
Everything all right, is it? We've still got customers.
Why don't you go and serve them? I want to press charges.
None.
Blimey. What?
Looking unusually rough. You don't mind me saying so?
It's a bit of undercoverage.
Hello?
Yeah. I got 4 of them, but the other 6 got away. I'm just going to put a bit of stake on it now.
That's what they do, is it?
Yeah.
You look awful. My God, you look awful.
Thank you.
You sound awful as well. Try not to do the top one, eh? Otherwise you'll need a bra.
It's on your lips, Sarge.
No. No, it's more than that. It's an accumulative effect. Don't go out looking like that. You'll set back community policing. Well, the front office have been on twice. There's a woman wanting to see you. She didn't give her name. She said she knows you. Don't spend all day with her. Right, I'll leave it to it. I'm off to the mortuary.
I wonder why he's down as a chirby. DC lines.
Angela Mower.
Annie Mower.
Les, you still with Les?
Les is still with me, just about.
Tell Mr. Lyons that lady who's come to see him is Mrs. Annie Mower, the renowned licensee of the Lord Duncan Hostelry in Thameside Avenue.
So who was borrowing money off who?
The big bloke, Kenny, was borrowing money off the other geezer, only Kenny didn't like the proposed repayment schemes. So, when you got stuck in, he was being persuaded to accept it.
How do you know that?
Well, I listened to them after you left. They had quite a laugh about him, actually. And then suddenly, you know, Tosh, it clicked. You see, it made sense of these people coming in, right? Me seeing them in the pool room, then them disappearing, and hardly ever buying a drink. Then I found this. Their little red book, the company accounts.
You found it, Annie?
Oh, took it, all right. Now, it lists all the poor gits they're into, right, and what they've got to pay back. Turn the page over. There, 3rd name down. What's that? Les. My Les. Well, there must be a stick or something you're standing, because it's spelt with a Z anyway. So, he...
Oh, cheers. There we go.
Thank you.
Tom it. All right.
Anyway,
He started owing them £500, right? Well, that was 2 months ago. Now it's gone to £750. Well, according to that, he's already paid him £100. So the free drinks are just a bonus.
When did they start hanging about?
Well, I first remember them about 3 weeks ago.
So if Les took out a loan, say, a couple of months back, he must have met up with them somewhere else other than your pub.
I wouldn't know. Not really very often there. I mean, they could have come in, but I don't remember them till about 3 weeks ago. You know, Tosh, this is a thriving business. I mean, I've heard they even advertised. They've put a little card in the post office window.
Which post office?
Allenby Road. No, mistake, Allenby Place.
So, what's Les said then?
He denied it. And then he said it was none of my business. And then he said he borrowed it on a friendly basis.
Well, couldn't he borrow the money?
Oh, he didn't ask me.
Why?
I don't know.
So you got no idea why he might want to borrow £500 from this couple?
No idea.
Or what he might want to spend the money on?
Look, I want this double act out of my pub, and Les won't ban him.
Look, if Les or nobody else will make a complaint, then we can't charge him with anything.
Well, then ask Les to make a complaint. Shake him up a bit.
And you won't mind about that?
I don't mind one little bit. In fact, it'd be a bonus.
What do you mean, nobbling these two or needling Les?
There's a nil Richard plumber, mainly drinking and theft, and one aggravated assault. Arrested in Chesterfield 3 months ago, currently bailed for return appearance at the Crown Court in 4 months' time. In charge of arson with intent. Another all-rounder in the tow rag league. What's this one been up to?
Possible loan shark. What are the conditions of bail?
To keep out of any licensed establishment that sells alcohol.
Oh, that's handy. If he is at it, I thought it'd be nice to get him for intimidation or menaces.
Easier said than done.
God knows the bank's at yard enough without these leechers putting it about. The way this is written, I'm going to have to take it to the British Museum to get it deciphered. Neil Plummer. Heard of him?
Oh, he's written his name inside it, has he?
Well, he's tried to, look at that. Still, it's worth a chance for me to check it out. Ponsford. He's borrowed £1,500. I bet you know what he's borrowed it for.
Who?
Gregory Ponsford. He's the burglar division nicked last year. One of Quidden's success stories.
Oh, he's borrowing it now, is he, instead of stealing it? Well, I suppose that's a step in the right direction.
Depends how you repay it.
It's a bit of a perfect setup, really. Not being the sort of thing you want to admit to your family.
Blackmail, that's what it is, Jim. It's always the same problem. No complaint, no conviction. And it's always a loan between friends.
Have you totaled any of these up?
I don't need to, do I?
Well, this Kenny you met last night, there's only one Kenny in here, and that's a Kenny Osborne. He borrowed £65. He's paying it back at an annual compound interest rate of...
You know the jargon, then?
Well, you're not the only one in it up to your neck. I just got a new car, remember?
Yeah.
He's paying it back at 1,000% a year. He'll have to borrow to pay back what he's borrowed.
Puts a new slant on High Street banking. Well, that's my car fixed till the MOT. Hey, what's the address of this Kenny Osborne? I'll drop you off.
I'm Mrs. Ponsford, PC Quinn Sun Hill. I'd like to have a word with your son, Gregory.
He isn't here, I'm afraid.
Have you any idea when he'll be back?
No.
Or is he back, Dave? You look well.
Thanks.
Oh, it's you again, David. I didn't know it was you. You do look smart today. You look very well.
Yes, that's what that's what Gregory said, yeah.
Well, you better come in and have a cup of tea. I don't want to leave one of Gregory's chums standing on the doorstep.
Thanks.
I've just made a fresh pot.
Lovely.
We've got some cake somewhere, eh, Mum?
I'll leave you two lads to it.
You told your mum we're chums, then?
The best.
Well, being a convicted thief with a nasty habit of violating other people's personal property, do you have to work at being so pleasant, Gregory?
You think I've been at it again?
Have you?
Saw you peeking around as we came in. Feel free to look about if that's what you came for.
I'll have your permission.
We could do the tour together, Dave. Together, let's crack it.
Now, you were involved in a set-to last night with a bloke calling himself Neil Plummer in a public house called the Lord Duncan. Now, what was the argument about?
Nothing.
No, it's all right, Mr. Osborne. Look, I only want to ask you a few questions. Now, I believe you borrowed some money from Mr. Plummer. £65, is that correct?
Yeah.
So you borrowed £65?
Yeah, only he wanted 100 back.
Is that what you're arguing about?
I didn't argue. I told him it was unfair, and he started pushing me about when I took his little book to have a look at it.
Now, when you said it was unfair, did he threaten you or anything like that?
No.
So he didn't threaten you to get the money out of you?
No.
Now, what about collateral?
What's that?
Well, it's something you could have given him to hang on to until you paid back what you borrowed.
I don't think so.
Now, how do you think he was going to get back the money you'd borrowed, Mr. Osborne? I mean, you're a big bloke.
He knows I'm afraid of him.
But wouldn't it be easy to get a loan from a building society or a bank?
I don't have any money to start one up.
No, I suppose not. How much you get paid here?
£1.80 an hour.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, Mr. Osborne.
You must come and see Gregory again.
Well, I'm sure it won't be too long, Mrs. Ponsford. Thanks for the angel cake.
Thank you for eating it, Dave.
Well, goodbye then.
Goodbye.
You weren't very thorough, were you, Dave? Were you?
You borrowed a large one. That's not against the law. I'm asking if the people you borrowed it off are putting pressure on. That might be. Fair enough?
Oh, really? So that fat lip of yours has got nothing to do with you picking up on my pub, then?
If I was picking on your pub, you'd know about it. How come on, does you know that?
Would you want the whole world knowing your business?
I'm not telling you, Les. You are.
Oh, so that's why you've been dropping in here, then? To spy on the little people? To observe the pygmies? You taking a file out on this place, then?
The thing is, I can't stop. Thieving's just a quick fix. Every time I get away with it, I tell myself I'm a winner. I've gone thieving mad, Dave. That's why I called you back. I want you to stop me.
Well, I'll try and stop you for a little while anyway. Where'd you steal the radio?
Probably one of the flats on Hadley Estate. I don't keep an inventory. It's marked up, so you shouldn't have any problem tracking it.
Where have you been getting rid of the gear?
I put it to auction through Diva and Co. The furniture people. Something like that I'd just flog. Or if it was no good, I'd just give it away.
You put it up for auction?
They only take 10%. It's cheaper than the unofficial channels. It also provided me with an air of legitimacy, if you understand me. And that is very important for someone like me, who's a thief in denial.
Your social worker says you paid off the fine for the last lot all in one go. Is this how you got the money?
I already had some of it.
How much?
500. I just don't like fines hanging over me, you see. I wanted to get it out of the way, so I paid it off in one.
Well, the fine was £2,000. Is this how you got the rest?
I'll get convicted for 3 break-ins, with another 17 taken into consideration, which I freely offered up. I'll get 2 years suspended and 2,000 quid fine. Now, I'm a thief. The magistrate said so, didn't she? And at the time, I willingly admitted it. Now, how do they expect me to pay it?
So you went back into business to pay off the fine for the last lot?
No, not technically. I borrowed the 1,500. I had to start up again to pay it back.
Sierra Oscar from 340 receiving over.
Thieving's become a compulsion. Well, sometimes I don't want to, but I have to. To tell you the truth, I'm at an all-time low.
Hello, speak to me 340.
Can I have a car at...
I stole this angel cake. And here I am eating it. Eating my own rock bottom. Oh, there's a thought, Dave. If you'd have had a slice, you could have pulled yourself in for receiving stolen property.
Were you ever threatened or intimidated? Did Plummer ever put any pressure on you to pay the extra money he was asking?
I'll confess to as many burglaries as I can remember. And a few more, if it'll help you polish a clear-up rate. I mean, after the trouble I've put the public to. I owe you that. But don't ask me to put anyone else in it. No matter how much I don't like them.
Did Plummer know that you was thieving to pay him back?
You'll have to ask him. They must have done. I mean, they know what to do. Did. Still do.
How do you mean they?
I gave the girl a tease maid. Shouldn't have said that. Oh, she must have known it was nicked. He had the ID on the bottom of it.
Is it OK to charge you now?
Yeah, thanks for waiting.
It's increased the pleasure. Come on.
Twice in 6 months. This is going to look like favouritism, Dave.
At least it'll raise our clear-up rate. You found that number?
Yeah. It was disengaged. Now, obviously, they're not interested in the kind of business that advert was attracting anymore. Maybe they're going up in the world.
From the sewer up to the gutter. What about Kenny? Any complaints there?
No. I found out where he worked from his brother. Now, Kenny's been reintegrated. Put back into society's swing of things after 4 months in hospital for depression. Now, poor Kenny's one of the world's bewildered.
Ponsford said he gave the girl a stolen tease maid. I mean, I know it sounds unlikely, but if we can get hold of it, perhaps we could do on a handling charge. It might scare her a bit.
Nah, not on Ponsford's word. It'd be a waste of time.
Yeah. Besides, these people need a greater scare than 10 minutes question time. If they walk out of here, they'll be cocky enough to hike up the interest rate by a couple 100%. Oh, it's just a pity we couldn't have pulled him on something more substantial.
How do you mean?
Look, Plummer's on bail for arson with intent. Just by being in the Duncan means he's in breach of it.
Oh, anything else I should know about?
I'd rather have got him on that one once we pulled him on the loan sharking. I'm just not looking forward to pulling someone in a pub where I was drinking the night before.
Leslie, I'll have a double scotch, please, mate. Darling?
Brandy, please.
We're going to pull, darling.
Yeah, right.
Cheers, Les.
I want an umbrella.
Neil Richard Plummer, you're under arrest for a breach of bail. You shall be drinking.
Oh, yeah? I'd stay where I was if I was you. I mean, you don't want to slip again and get the rest of your head all puffed up, do you?
I don't like that, sunshine.
Oh, dear, don't you?
Arson with intent. You're going to be in ice until your trial comes up. And we've got 3 of your debtors who prefer to swear that you threatened them.
Oh, then you might as well just dump me in Alaska.
You don't think anyone would, do you? Well, how would we have known where to find you? Ask yourself that. Unless one of them should have paid you off, decided not to, and came to us and told us all about you instead.
Oh, you mean it had nothing to do with what happened last night? I mean, you didn't feel slighted or anything? I mean, some people, you know, a jury type of thing, might get the idea you was putting it about a bit because of that. What's that? Is that my copy of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act you're meant to give me if I ask you for it? Right, I'll have one of them, thank you.
Your request has been noted.
So give it to the duty solicitor on his way in.
This is your handwriting, or an attempt at it.
So charge me with illiteracy. It has been known.
You're going to be charged with extortion, and a few other things.
Not on. That book is my property. I even put my name in it. Now, I'd hardly do that, would I? It contains a list of people, a list of friends that I've loaned money to. I had to borrow myself to lend it to them. Do you know why I lent them that money? Because I'm a very nice person. I care about people. I've a good heart.
Come in.
The duty solicitor.
Yeah. Couldn't lend us a fag.
Are that addressed to you, Stringer?
Not addressed to anyone, sir, to whom it may concern.
Signed?
No. Say it Simsek is illegal, driver minicab, he is a liar. Thief, you will find him at 18 Wiston Road. Many other also. No.
Passport. Someone grassing up an illegal immigrant. Busy week for denunciations, that's the fourth.
Bit nasty, innit?
Say it's probably on a good earner and our pen friend's not. That's all it takes.
Oh, nice. So,
Well, Tosh Lyons is doing immigration inquiries at the moment, only he's not in. He's gone to a wedding. Now your way to the town hall, George?
Yeah, of course, Sarge.
Off we go then.
Isn't good.
Monica and Gary.
And now you, Monica. I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare
That I know not of any lawful impediment.
that I know not of any lawful impediment.
Why I, Monica Ingari,
Why I, Monica Ingara,
may not be joined in matrimony
may not be joined in matrimony
to Keith Prentice.
to Keith Prentice.
And now, Keith, if
I'm
you
sorry
would
to
like
interrupt at this point, Miss Hetherington. Sally Curtis, immigration officer. I've reason to believe that Monica Ngari is an overstay in breach of the Immigration Act. Also, I believe that this marriage may be unlawful. You can carry on with the ceremony if you like, my dear. Either way, you're on the next plane home. Tosh.
No, let him go. Monica Ngari, I'm arresting you on suspicion of deception, perjury, and overstaying in breach of the Immigration Act.
We just hear us back up or what?
Yeah. You could have been bridesmaid if you'd asked. Ah. Sierra Oscar from 7-9 receiving.
Receiving, Sarge.
Ask custody to have the bridal suite ready, will you please?
Say again.
Tosh Lyons is bringing in her body. The illegal who was planning to buy her husband.
Right, show over. Well, what about the bridegroom? You'll need him if you want to pursue this marriage broking thing.
We've got his address, he won't disappear.
Oh, another denunce came in this morning, pointing the finger at Wiston Road.
What, again?
Number 18 this time.
Right, well, maybe I'll give it a spin later on.
What, today?
That's Sally's here, yeah. We'll deal with Monica first, eh?
Right.
This divorce certificate, Monica, issued in your home country by tribal custom. Me and you both know it's not worth the paper it's printed on, is it? You see, I think you've still got a husband and children of your own back home. If you had got married to Mr. Prentice this morning, the arrangement was that as soon as your passport stamped UK resident, you'd have divorced him. And when you had divorced him, you'd have torn this piece of paper up and you'd have brought your real husband and children over here to join you. Isn't that so? OK, let's talk about proven fact then. Your passport has got a 6 months visitor's stamp on it, issued last April, which means that you've been living here illegally for the past 3 months, correct? Monica? For the tape, please.
Yes.
Thank you. And have you been working as well?
Of course I've been working. How else I get money?
The rules don't allow foreign visitors to work.
Is it bad then to earn a living?
Don't get clever. The conditions of entry are quite clear. No employment. You've been working in breach of those conditions. Yes? Yes.
Yes.
What have you been doing?
Cleaning offices, washing dishes, making beds.
It's a hard slog then, eh? Even tougher than you expected. How did you afford to come over here in the first place? Money from here? Relations? Your relations lent you the money?
Yes.
So that's why you overstayed? Couldn't earn enough in the first 6 months? Not enough to pay off your debts? To buy yourself a husband? How much did it cost you, Monica, to buy yourself a husband? Look, love, come on. You're going to go home anyway. You're a proven overstayer. It's not going to hurt now to tell the truth. How much?
£500.
£500. Just for the wedding. And more to pay later, after a year. What was the follow-up?
2,000.
That's a lot of money. Who arranged all this? Who did you pay the 500 to? It's a pretty one-sided deal, this, love, I'm telling you. They've got your £500 and all you've got is a one-way ticket out. Who did you pay? See yourself. Interview terminated. Come in.
Sorry.
No, it's not. We've finished. Can you put her in a cell, please, Kath?
All right?
Yeah, good as gold on the overstay.
Fine. I'll get authorisation.
But we've got nothing on the marriage broker. Look, why don't we do Whiston Road as compensation?
We won't get many at this time of day.
Well, the letter mentions mini cabin. Could be half a dozen a kip there. Monroe knows about it. I'll arrange some backup.
What about an interpreter?
There's no need. I've started evening classes.
I'm ever so grateful to you for finding it.
Oh, no, I never found it. Wimbledon did. I'm just here to tell you about it so as you can pick it up. Quarter light's broken, but it's still drivable.
So, do you want to come in for a minute then?
Sorry?
While I get dressed. I ought to get dressed, I suppose, if you're taking me over to Wimbledon.
No. I mean, no, I can't take you. You'll have to make it under your own steam, love.
Well, you made a right pig's ear of that.
Sarge?
You were in there.
No, she gave me a blank.
She what? She was on her plate from the moment she opened the door.
She never opened the door. Not properly.
The leg was there, George. Leg and a half open door. Dressing gown tied, but loosely. I've known probationers could have read all that and done something about it.
Yeah, well, it's not quite so easy when you're standing there, is it?
Obviously, you've never been taught the facts of life on the beat, my son. We're policemen. It's there for us. If they want it from the uniform, what's wrong in providing a public service, eh? Whiston Road.
What for?
Tosh Lyons is arranging some more sport.
Morning, chaps. How many are we after?
Only one specifically named.
Yeah? They should do that kebab house again, you know.
Warburg Street. There's a lot of new faces down there.
Do you reckon he enjoys all this or what?
I do.
Yeah, I know you do. Tosh lines.
Oh, Tosh? Ah, sheer necessity with him. He's filling up the country with his own kids, isn't he? Can't afford to let the rest of the world in.
Hiya.
Where'd you want us, Tosh?
Steve and George around the back, please, Sarge. You come to the front with us, if that's okay.
Right.
Right. Up to you.
Good morning. Sally Curtis, Immigration Department. I'm looking for Mr. Sayet Shimshek. Are you Mr. Shimshek?
You speak English? Say it, Simshek. Send missing.
Hi. Hi.
Give a bill, miss. Hollis. Sayed Shimshek. Burada.
Yok. Sayed Şimşek burada yok.
Sen kimsin?
Benim adım İsmet Şahin.
Legal? Passport. Come here.
These are new trousers.
Stay there. All right. Cuff him, Steve.
Just wish they'd put up a fight sometimes.
Legal. Sayed Shimshek. Sen misin? You. Legal? Could you cuff him, please, Sarge, and then check upstairs?
DC lines from 218.
Hello, George.
Yeah, 1-1, lost one.
Anahtar.
İçeride.
I wonder how many of these are in circulation. All clear, Sarge?
Yeah.
Right, would you mind securing the back for us, then we're off?
I thought you were joking.
What?
About learning the language.
I never joke about the job, love. It's weird enough as it is.
Mind your heads. Do you need us any more, Tosh?
No, I'm going to the van with Steve. Sally's driving my car back. So you and George can get on your business. Thanks for all your help.
Maybe we'll do a scout round for the one that got away.
Well, that's fine. I'll see you soon.
Cheers. That all right with you, George? Sorry? You take the pander, do a quick tour of the back doubles, and I'll have another look round the block.
Yeah, it'll be long gone by now, surely.
It's got to be worth 10 minutes.
Sarge.
All right. All right. Inside. Sit down. What's your name?
Ayla. Ayla kavuşturan.
Are you legal, Iles? Then you're in trouble, aren't you? Serious trouble. That's a great shame. I don't like to see young women in trouble. I like to help them. Would you like me to help you? You know I'm a police officer. That means I can help.
I can sort things out for people. Do you understand?
What's this?
Caught doing a runner out the back. What you come back for?
Mr. Shimshek wanted to get a telephone number. Chibuk, Chibuk. Did she speak English?
Bit.
Outside, please. Okay. After you.
While in custody, you have the following rights. Please.
Tutuklu bulunduğunuz müddetçe şu haklara sahipsiniz. Tutuklandığınızı herhangi birine haber vermek, avukat, bir avukata danışmak ve İçişleri Bakanlığı'nın dava açma yöntemleri hakkında fikir edinmek.
Tanju Darya.
Yeah, I thought it might be. Give me a bleep when he comes, will you? I'll be with the bridegroom of the year. Hello again, Keith. DC line, Scannell. Hostel?
Carsy.
That's better than the good, eh?
When you've had a drink, yeah. Gyro day. Want one?
No, thanks.
You might as well. You're getting naff all else.
Okay. You sound as if you were an intelligent man once, Keith. Tell me about the wedding.
They weren't no poxy wedding, were they? You screwed it up. Yeah, poor little Monica.
Leave it out. I bet you never set eyes on her before this morning.
You can still tell what they're like.
Oh, yeah? She isn't your first, then?
Isn't she?
What was your cut? Half?
I wasn't getting no cut. I was getting a wedding present.
Who's going to pay you, Keith? Who's the fixer?
No idea.
You realise arranging illegal marriages is a conspiracy. When we nick the bloke, you're going to be an accessory. They don't supply all these inside, you know.
You're not going to nick him, are you? Not this one. Not any of them. Because people know which side their bread's buttered. Junk people. Unemployable old tosspots like me. Someone offers you a few quid to do a lady a favour, well... Why'd you have to give poor little cows like her so much hassle anyway?
Because if every one of them's allowed to get away with it, this island is going to sink.
Yeah, well, they work their butts off, don't they, eh? The ones like her. We all know there's thousands of illegals out there, thousands of young bucks who never do a stroke. Fraud, drugs, more fraud. You don't catch many of them, do you, eh? And they're all bouncing off the state while they're at it.
Like you mean?
I'm allowed to ponce. I was born here. Still, you have caught me, little Monica, and screwed her to the floor. Good for you.
As this form tells you, you can appeal to have the length of your stay in this country extended. But I must warn you that until the appeal is dealt with, which can take 2 or 3 months, you'd be held in custody. You'd not be free. And it's very unlikely that the appeal would be granted anyway, unless there are extremely good reasons for it. Do you understand? Do you wish to appeal? Right, if you could sign here, please, at the bottom of this form. Until a flight has been arranged, you'll be detained here. Now, is there someone you can telephone to have your belongings brought in? If not, we can arrange to have them collected.
I found someone.
Right. Thanks very much. Ready for dispatch.
Tell you what, George, even you couldn't have failed. She knew what the game was. She just sat there waiting for me. Beautiful black hair, skin like velvet, all dark and creamy.
You make her sound like a pint of Guinness.
Can I get you anything? Coffee? Come on, it's not as bad as you think. We're quite human. Well, you don't look like a waitress, hoping to enroll as a student. How did you get here, anyway? It makes no difference to me. I expect you'll be going straight back.
Maybe.
Finally take the hint then, buddy.
Oh, some guy just left this at the front desk. Says it's your little Africans.
Oh, right. She's got some friends after all, then.
No, you wouldn't say that.
Not a lot to show for 9 months hard graft, is it, eh?
There you go, Tosh.
Hello, Monica. This has just come for you. I want you to check it over. Make sure there's everything here that you want. There you go. OK, I'll tell the custody officer to record it. Do you want to change it to one of the dresses? Only you won't be staying here long now. You're booked on a plane tomorrow morning. I know it's a bit quick, but sometimes it happens that way. You'll be taken to the airport this afternoon, ready for the off. There's what they call a holding centre there. It's really quite comfortable. OK? Call the custody officer if you change your mind about the dress.
There's no problem for me, Tosh. She knew what she was doing. She got caught. Tough.
He's spoken to them all, individually and as a group. I don't know what he's up to.
Don't you?
Mr. Lyons.
Mr. Derriere. Sit down. So?
My clients wish to apply for political asylum.
What?
Political asylum. Presumably you've encountered the term. Is Miss Curtis still in the building? She may have some application forms.
No, she's not.
Then I'll ring immigration directly. Obviously, no further action may be taken to remove my clients from the UK pending initial interview.
Oh, wait a minute. They don't deny entering the country illegally, then?
Sergeant, when one is fleeing persecution and death, legality is not a prime consideration.
What persecution? If they needed asylum, they should have applied for it on arrival. Why wait till they get arrested?
As I say, fear is a stronger motivator than logic.
Oh, then it was fear that forced Mr. Shimshek to become a cab driver, was it?
My client has no knowledge of such employment. He has no car, no driver's license. Full details of his circumstances will be given on the asylum application form.
Well, there's no way they're getting bail.
On the contrary, I think you'll find that bail is perfectly in order, provided they report to your station twice a week. Our community looks after its own, Sergeant. I've already spoken to respected permanent residents who will stand surety if required.
Got to keep fighting, Sarge. Even with one hand tied behind our backs.
Have we? Makes the whole thing seem ridiculous. All this huff and puff about an accident at birth. I don't know why we don't just build a few hundred tower blocks in Exmoor and have done with it.
The van's here. Are you sure you don't want to change your dress? There'll be plenty of time at the holding centre. It'll be good to see your family again. 9 months is a long time.
We have 4 children. My husband has no job. I earn £100 a week here. Would you be glad to see me?
I dare say she'll be back.
Yeah?
I just wanted to tell you I'd used Supt.
Sussed?
Yeah, the raid this morning, the girl. I know what you were thinking.
What do you mean? It happened like I said. I nicked her and she put herself on offer. Now, don't tell me they never try it on you.
She was offering nothing. We all know you're the man with the golden wife, and she never stopped telling us. But if you're ever out on a job with me again, you'll never use this to get what you want.
Getting too old for it yourself, then?
I'm getting too old to give a toss about your career, pal. But if you want to put yourself down the pant, I'll happily pull the chain. Received?